Imagine two different people. They're actually the same guy, but they live in different realities. In these realities, one of them is angry, negative, and depressed. The other is positive, happy, sees a lot of opportunity around him, and enjoys life. In these two realities, the outside world is exactly the same. The only difference is the way that they view it. The first one sees things as a victim. He focuses on negativity, and therefore that's all he sees. Have you ever seen this video? If you haven't, spoiler alert, so watch out. As you're watching the video, you're asked to watch how many times the basketball is passed around. As you're watching, the gorilla walks straight through the group of people passing the ball, and most people don't even see him because they're focused so intently on watching the basketball. They can't see what is right in front of them. So this first guy who focuses on negativity, the world is dark, dreary, and out of his control. There's nothing he can do because he is a victim. Nothing is his fault. Therefore, he has no power to change anything. Bad things just happen to him and he can't catch a break. Let's say he ends up losing his job. He's upset at his boss. He feels like a failure, and this causes him to spiral into a depressive and even more negative state where he lacks all self-belief and confidence. He loses everything. The other version of this same person sees the world through a completely different lens. And remember, the outside world is the same. Reality is reality. But this version is not a victim. He takes responsibility for everything in his life, good and bad. He sees the same things as his counterpart does, but the world, instead of being dark and dreary, is full of light and energy, hope and positivity. Good things just happen to him. He can't help it. People call him lucky all the time. He sees things as opportunities. When one door closes, another one opens. Same thing happens as the other version. He loses his job, but instead of being upset and angry and falling into a depressive state, he thinks, sure, it caught him off guard. Now he has to figure out what to do, but he can finally have enough time to work on that side business that he's been growing. He can finally go all in, and nothing could be more motivating to him than being pinned up against the wall with nothing to do but fight, conquer, and move forward. And he thinks to himself, what an exciting experience. I will be able to get through this because of the abundance of opportunity that I see. Think of the stark difference here. The contrast. The two parallel worlds, the outside reality is all the same, but the lens through which they see the world is completely different. This is a paradigm, the lens through which we view the world. It's why one person can look at maybe a homeless person and think, there's a drug addict, there's somebody that I need to steer clear from and stay away from, and why someone else can look at the same exact person and think, this is someone that's lost their way, they need help. This is exactly why family and friends can see things, maybe politically, different than you, to the point that they seem crazy to believe what they believe and see what they see. Believe me, I get it. So the question is, how can we shift our paradigm? How can we change the lens through which we see things so that we can live a better life? And frankly, there are a lot of different ways, but in this video, I just want to briefly go over two. The first one is focus, and the second is questioning your beliefs. So focus. First, figure out what you want and narrow in on it. Think about that video with watching the basketballs and the gorilla. Instead of focusing on things that are unimportant to you, dial yourself in on what it is that you want, what your goals are. Don't look at distractions, because when you look at distractions, you'll miss the opportunities for what you're actually looking for. And this I can promise you, just like in that video, they are there. They're right in front of you. You just don't see them, but they do exist. Another simple example of this that I think most people have experienced is with cars. Let's say you think about buying a new one, you just got one, or something has caused a certain kind of car to come into your consciousness. Now, when you've never seen it really before in your entire life, all of a sudden you see it everywhere on the road. Everywhere you go, there seems to be that car. This is exactly the same thing. When you start focusing and give to your conscious mind the things that you want, and you focus on what you want and the opportunities, and you look for them, they become apparent and they become abundant. You don't see them because you're distracted. Focus on positivity. Stop complaining and giving place and giving reality to the negativity in your mind. The worst thing you can do is tell someone that they are perfect just the way that they are and they don't need to change at all. I'm here to tell you that you can change if you want to. Which brings us into the next point, questioning our beliefs. Many people have a fear of failure. You may be victim to this as well. Why do we have that? We grow up in school, we're criticized and looked down on for making mistakes, getting things wrong, and failing. And because of that, most people have this fear of failure ingrained in them. However, is this a correct belief? Does it serve you well in the real world? Ask yourself, is it better not to try? What if we just shifted that paradigm, removed that lens, and put on a different one? And we looked at failure as an opportunity simply to learn. Would you try more? Would you try harder? Do you think you would get maybe farther in life? Would you be closer now to what you want if you didn't have a fear of failing? How much better does that lens serve you? How much better does that paradigm serve you? Here's a hot topic example that might get me canceled, but we're gonna do it anyway. Do you believe that you have depression? A mental problem that strikes out of nowhere and you're told simply, give up, you can't do anything about it. Here, take these pills, numb it out, and don't do anything to fix it because you can't. There is nothing you can do. But what if we switch the paradigm? What if you believed that there was actually a cause for feeling depressed? What if you realized that you have a habit of negativity, a habit of negative thinking? Therefore, that's what you see and what you focus on. Well, now we have an actual problem that's causing you to feel depressed that we can do something about. Now, it's up to you whether or not you're going to do something, but knowing that there is a cause will allow you to find a solution to the problem and give you hope. What if you're broke and all you do still is play video games, scroll on TikTok, and waste your time? Of course, you are going to feel bad about yourself because you're not doing things that cause you to feel good about yourself. So now, once we recognize it, we have the opportunity to fix it. We switch the paradigm, we switch the belief to that your mind is telling you there is a problem that needs to be fixed. Which one of these is more empowering? There's nothing I can do about it, it came out of nowhere, or there's a problem that needs to be fixed that I can find a solution for. I have to work for it, it's going to be hard, but I'm unhappy now, I need to do something to change my life. Which one is more powerful for you? I know people personally, and there are all kinds of people that have had clinical depression, taking pills for 10 plus years, ever since they were teens, preteens, to get over this illness. And they've fixed it, cured themselves from this incurable disease by identifying the problem and working to overcome it. You change your paradigm, you change your mindset, you change your life. If this is something that you're serious about, that you really want to do, click the link below to see if working together might make sense to get you to the next level. Either way is totally cool. I'll catch you on the next video.